Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the light and love that is Unity of Lawrence. Welcome those who are watching on Zoom or other forms of video. And a welcome to this first bright, shiny day of September. We're going to get some hotter weather as it coming up, but not much we can do about that. As you're aware, in Unity, we begin everything with prayer. So let's take a centering breath and open to the divine in all of us and listen to this prayer. On this day, we dedicate our hearts to peace on earth. We appreciate everyone's spiritual journey and the abundant blessings bestowed upon us. In unity with all who seek to express freedom, joy, and transformation, we welcome our divine inheritance as creators. In harmony with this truth, we live to the best of our ability with a peaceful mind, a peaceful heart, and a peaceful spirit. And so it is. Amen. Our prayer chaplains are trained to hold sacred space and pray one-on-one. If there is anything in your heart to be held in prayer, we invite you to see a chaplain after today's service at the front of the sanctuary. Our chaplains today are Diane and Betty. Our chaplains will also pray with you during the week. Just fill out a purple prayer request slip, place it in the wooden box outside the office. Chaplains can also visit you in times of need. Just let the office know and they will contact the chaplains. All prayers are confidential. And now please stand and let's join Holly in singing Joy in My Day.
All right, good morning. Great to see you out there. Love in the words I say, peace in the world I made, God in every breath I take, joy in my day, joy in my day. Let's get one more time. Love in the words I say, peace in the world I made, God in every breath I take, joy in my day, joy in my day. We are lifted up, we are lifted up, we are lifted up higher. We are lifted up, we are lifted up, we are lifted up higher. And now let's greet each other, lift each other up. beautiful to see everybody lifting each other up this morning. And all together, we can create this space of love in the words we say. Love in the words we say. Peace in the world we make. God in every breath we take. Joy in our day. Joy in our day. Love in the words we say. In the world we live, God in every breath we take, joy in our day, joy in our day, and we are lifted up together. We are lifted up, we are lifted up. We are lifted up higher. We are lifted up. We are lifted up. We are lifted up higher. Thank you all.
Thank you, Holly. And now, as usual, it's time for our unity intentions. Please affirm with me unity's founding principle. Together, there is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God, the source of all good. And now our Unity of Lawrence vision statement. Together, united in divine love and joy, we celebrate a peaceful and abundant world for all. And now our Unity of Lawrence mission statement. Together, we are a thriving spiritual community, sharing love, building bridges, and inspiring transformation. And now please welcome our special music guest, Emery Taylor.
Grandpa drove a post truck starting back in '63. He was a teacher of a preacher, and he shared some truth with me. He said it's not the clothes that I might wear that make me who I am, but if I give my shirt to one in need, then maybe they will understand. With a wife, 9 kids, and a farm to run, my grandpa sure worked hard. He was a blessing in community, and he loved to praise the Lord. Though I cannot recall in all my years that he ever said to me anything to bring another down, and that's how I want to be. We are the keepers of the stories told from fathers down to sons. We are the memories of mothers and our sisters, everyone. We are the legacy in the life we live and the race that we might run. And I pray that I won't pass away when my days on earth are done. Now the kids are grown and the family number's more than 63, and my grandma can't remember us or the way things used to be. But a good old hymn will bring her back from somewhere deep inside. And I love that man even more each time I see my grandpa cry. Now he washes her and he cares for her and he tells her what to do. He is all that she remembers and it's all that gets them through. As he leads her to her rest, then I can see it in his eyes. It is love that he has chosen, and that's when I realized we are the keepers of the stories told from fathers down to sons. We are the memories of mothers and our sisters, everyone. We are the legacy in the life we live and the race that we might run. And I pray that I don't pass away when my days on earth are done. Look around the world and see the stories people tell. With the life that you are living, will you be remembered well? I don't have a game or gimmick, I don't claim a truth to tell. But as I walk away today, I hope that you can't turn the other way and forget these simple words I say, that I hope that you live well. Well, one day my grandpa's gonna die, just like every living thing. But until that time, who can guess just how much beauty he can bring? But much more than anything he's done or that he has left to do is the difference that he makes in every life he passes through. Will you be a person who will live in the moment where you are? Will your name go down in history, gaining fame both near and far? Will you only be contented if you get the very best? Or does it bring you joy just to know that through your life the earth was blessed? We are the keepers of the stories told from fathers down to sons. We are the memories of mothers and our sisters, everyone. We are the legacy in the life we live and the race that we might run. And I pray that I don't pass away.
And I pray that we don't pass away.
Yes, I hope that we don't pass away when our days on earth are done.
Thank you, that was beautiful. Robin Goff is founder and co-spiritual leader of the Light Center, an alternative unity ministry retreat center near Baldwin City, Kansas. For over 27 years, she had spearheaded the creation of sacred space on a 95-acre sanctuary near Baldwin. Robin is also a licensed unity teacher. Welcome, Robin.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Emery. That was perfect. That's what we're talking about today, is stories passing down through the generations. Yeah, so I titled this Boiling Point or Tipping Point, and I wrote that a long time ago, and then things just kept boiling in our world, didn't they? And it sunk in deeper and deeper why I'm talking about this topic. So I yesterday had a quote come through from grandmother Flora de Mayo, who's one of the International Council of 13 Indigenous Grandmothers. We've had a few of them at times at the Light Center, and they're a group from all over the world of grandmothers who are holding tradition. And Flora de Mayo said, "Humanity is at a crossroads. We can only go one way, as one can't go in two directions at the same time. We do not know what we need to do as a human species. There is only one place to go, and that is into the light as one tribe." Yeah, so that's kind of where we are right now as we hit this climate catastrophe. I heard a term recently, perma-crisis. Don't that say it? It's like, I can't even keep track of where the fires are burning or where the earthquakes are hitting or the hurricanes are hitting. It's so fast. It's coming at us constantly now. So meanwhile, those who could make decisions that could make very strategic differences for the world are busy bickering about nitpicky things, you know? It's like, okay, well, so we'll just have to figure this out and do it ourselves. And so we talk like this together in groups, and we wake up, and we've got it, and we know we're on track and on task, and then we fall back to sleep because the rest of the world around us is going on business as usual, like there's nothing happening to this planet. And so it's a roller coaster. And you know, you watch the news, and some of our wealthiest people think that it's a good time to like go down to visit the Titanic or go up to Mars and spend billions of dollars doing this. It's like, I don't get it. You know, it's like there could be other things that we might be doing. So I wanted to share with you some of the teachers that I've been reading and chewing on these ideas. So one is Sharif Abdullah, and many of you know of him and have experienced him. He's in Oregon, but has been out to the Light Center to teach and at Unity International conventions frequently. And so he's just put out a book called The Nation of Gaia. And his premise in this book is that it's time for us to create one world, one people that doesn't have to have all these border lines and border walls and separation by the red states and the blue states and this team and that team and religious wars that are constantly going on for eternity, that we could create one nation that is informed by oneness and what he calls holonic consciousness, meaning that this is a shift in our consciousness to go bigger than just me to a consciousness that includes all of the planet. His stated vision, and he always stays true to that vision, is creating a world that works for all, meaning not just humans, but plants, animals, soil, the whole thing. So Sharif has asked if I want to be part of this nation of Gaia and be like a node for that. And I'm saying, yeah, I'm interested. I love the book, but what does that mean? How do we really do this? And so that's what I'm always seeking out. It's like the how to, the where do we go from here? What are the steps? How do we move ahead, you know, on the earth? So many of you have heard me talk about David Creeper. So I've been going to South Africa for a couple of decades now, and I go to the same little town called Riviersonderend, and I love, love, love it there. There's a beautiful mountain range, and long story short, I have come to believe that I've been called there by a man named David Creeper. Now, he's no longer in his physical body, but he was when I started going. And he was probably one of the most gifted leaders of the San Bushmen people still alive on planet Earth. So San Bushmen are considered to be some of the original people on this planet, starting in South Africa. And who knows, there's undoubtedly other places where human life began as well, but certainly the San Bushmen were among the first. So I was gifted this rock implement, and I love to hold it. It feels so solid and so grounding. And it's from the hills where I go to visit in South Africa, and I came to learn from local scholars that those are the hills where they trained their shamans. So of course there would be a lot of powerful energy coming from there. Because I kept saying, why do I keep going to this little remote place in South Africa from this little remote place in Kansas? You know, how did this happen? So I started working with this, and it clearly is an implement. If you want to look at it after, you're welcome to. You can see that it's got a cutting edge and a digging edge or whatever, and it's got a place your thumb fits right in. So I sit with it a lot. And I've spoken about this before. The very first and most powerful message I got from this stone when I said, how is it that I can connect with the wisdom and the essence of our ancestors, the wise ones who knew how to live in balance on this planet? And I heard loud and clear, remember. Okay, that made sense. And then I had an experience with my teacher, Helen Yamada, who's a very, very gifted person who sees and hears beyond the ordinary range. And in a meditation with her, she tuned in to the ancestors, the indigenous ones. And when we were sharing at the end, she said, I got one word, and it was remembering. And so I know that there's something there. There's something happening here that I need to pay attention to. And so when I picked up this book the other day, well, I actually saw it on the internet first. It's kind of scary how the internet knows exactly what you're looking for. And they put something right in front of you, like, well, I have to buy this, So this book came up, and it's called Sand Talk: How Indigenous Thinking Can Save the World. I went, okay, this is what I'm looking for. And it's by Tyson Yunkaporta, who's of the Apalek clan in Australia. So he's not a pure-blooded Apalek, but he is of mixed nationality, as are most of us today, and is studying the indigenous peoples, the Aboriginal peoples of Australia, and how it is that they can inform us for today. Not just a dog and pony show like, oh, we did this dance and we wear this costume and, we made these artifacts. That's the usual thing that we get, right? But going deeper, like what is the message? What is the difference here that we need to know? So it's called Sand Talk because the original way of communicating stories and passing along information was to draw with a stick in the sand. So throughout the book, there are images of sand talk symbols that convey deep, deep, deep messages. So I have to refer to my notes as I do this because when he wrote this book and in his introduction, he said, this is very hard for me to convey to you because we don't think with the same kind of mind as a true indigenous person, including him. He did not grow up embedded in that way of thinking, but he's learned it over time. So he says an indigenous person is a member of a community retaining memories, a community that's retaining memories of life lived sustainably on a land base as part of that land base. So that whole thing of that connection to Earth. And he says that we are, as humans, the custodial species. We're the ones who have the opportunity to make a difference in what we do with this planet. It's not the birds and the raccoons running around and the deer and the ones swimming in the ocean. It's us. We're the ones who have that custodial charge. But we think so differently than the way indigenous people think because they're non-linear. So we're linear in our thought, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, but they think in terms of cycles. So the cycles are deeply embedded in the earth and the sky. The turning of the seasons totally is embedded in the mind and bodies of true indigenous peoples. Interesting. So what we do, though, know is that as we are entering this new era of time on this planet, each one of us carry the blueprint within us. So many of you have heard me talk about the imaginal cell story, the cells within the chrysalis where the caterpillar is breaking down. There are imaginal cells that hold the blueprint for the butterfly to be formed. And so this metaphor has been used for decades now by some really great teachers as a way of seeing where we are in our culture, that there are things breaking down all around us in all aspects of life, in the economy, in the politics, in education, in religions even, breaking down, and we are charged to remember what is held in the blueprint within us, because it's in there, it's in our DNA. So he says that the most destructive idea that we hold as a culture is, I am greater than you, you are less than me. You know, think about that. That is the source of all misery. He says, the original sin, placing yourself above the land or other people. This is where everything is broken down, because we no longer see ourselves at one with the earth and all of her creatures. Kind of a key there. So he talks about something called the nucleus basalis. Has anybody heard of that before? I never heard of that. It's in our brain. And it's in the middle, kind of near the amygdala. And it's most active until we're about 7 or 8 years old. So we do the majority of our learning in those early years. Think of how little ones can learn languages and so much information, and they're just wide open, moving full speed ahead, learning. And then they go to school, and we dumb them down, you know? And so he says that in the what he calls undomesticated mind, the nucleus basalis is always active. That's a huge difference between you and I and a true indigenous person. We're not using very much of our brains anymore, you know? And so how is it that we restore that part, bring that part into more activity? Because it's so important for our concentration and our adaptation in this world. So he was talking with this elder. So in the story, he talks a lot about what he's been learning from true indigenous elders who have kept the old ways and have retained much of those abilities. He said, he was talking with this elder, and they showed the sand talk image of a turtle. It looked like a turtle. And the story was that this is the spiral of creation. So something hits the back of the turtle, and then it splits and it doubles. So 1 + 1 = 2. And then that one, 2 + 1 is 3. And always going back and adding the number before. So 3 + 2 is 5. And then 3 + 5 is 8. And what is that? Fibonacci sequence. Okay, this is a very sophisticated mathematical sequence that we think was invented 800 years ago, but in fact, it's been around for thousands and thousands of years. These people understood this complex process of creation that informs everything. You can see that form in shells and in other developmental formation of life on the planet. So we think of these people in our culture as primitive, less than we are. That is just not it. You know, we're going to try to regain a little bit more of our brains so we can catch up to that. So he talks about the holistic systems of thought that are prevalent in his clan. The first one being kinship mind, meaning that nothing is learned unless it's learned in relationship, hence the kinship idea. So everything is stored in relationship between people and handed down, as you were saying, but also in the land. So it's a custodial relationship to the places and also to the senior knowledge keepers that keeps this wisdom alive. So it reminded me a lot of what I've learned a little bit about in South Africa, which is Ubuntu, which means I am because we are. So it's a changing our thoughts from I do this and I am this to I am because I'm in the context of this community. Yeah. So he talks about, sorry, I got a frog. How each part carries the inherent intelligence of the entire whole. So this idea of us clumping and coming together is so, so crucial in this thought. So the imaginal cells are in there holding this blueprint in the chrysalis, but they're being eaten and consumed by the caterpillar until they start to come together, clump together, and that makes them stronger so that they begin to overcome and form the actual body of the butterfly. So this idea of clumping together in communities is so important to where we are right now. So then there's story mind, the role of narrative in memory and knowledge transmission. And he talks a lot in the book about what he calls song lines, meaning that knowledge is carried along these song lines between people and into the earth and through all parts of the earth. I love that word, song lines. And throughout the story, he says, I'm yarning with you. So a yarn is more than just a story. It's got a lot of cultural tradition embedded in it, and it is a conveyance for not only transmitting knowledge, but also producing knowledge in this context between people. And they're also, part of yarning now, it's very important in the indigenous culture, is challenging the dominant history, the way it's been taught. And then there's the dreaming mind, and that's all about the metaphors and the marriage of the tangible and the abstract together, the physical and the non-physical worlds. And it comes through dance and culture and song and objects and rituals. And it makes me think a lot of metaphysics that we teach so much in Unity, the metaphysical layers of understanding. And then you have the ancestor mind, the timeless state of the alpha wave mind, where you go into deep, deep concentration and lose track of linear time. And we've all had those experiences, haven't we, in visualizations and dreams. So it's a lot about contacting that cellular memory, that remembering of what we're carrying deep within us. He says we must protect our knowledge and minds from the white noise of civilization. Yeah. And then the last is the pattern mind, seeing the entire systems and following the patterns of creation to find solution to the complex problems that we're facing. Everything is interconnected, and the patterns emerge within the systems. So in indigenous thinking, there is the same word for place and time. Think about that. Can we get there in our thinking that place and time are all one? And there's no word for culture. Their word for culture, the closest thing would be meaning, being like our place. So it's like living the patterns of your place, the real importance of being fully connected with where you live, deeply. So he talks about how our patterns of approaching problems are completely the opposite of where they need to be. And I could talk about this all day, so I won't. But the way we do it in our culture is we come in to a problem that we're going to solve, and this is what we're going to do. And then it kind of falls apart and it doesn't work. And so then we reflect as a group and talk it over about, well, maybe we need to rethink this. And then we think, well, maybe we better connect together and get to know each other and work through this as a group mind. And then we go, oh, thank you so much. I learned so much from you. And we go away with a deep respect for these people that we were trying to save and help and fix. So he says, in the indigenous way of approaching an issue, you start with respect. There are traditions for how we introduce ourselves to one another and how we listen to each other with deep respect. And that's the work of the Spirit. We start there. And then we go to connect and establish these strong relationships together among equals. Not like I'm the American and I'm coming in to help you indigenous people with your problems. No, it's equal. And so this is the work of the heart. And then we reflect together as one group, a shared body of knowledge, and come to what we will do next together. And this is the work of the head. And then we direct. And so this is acting on shared knowledge negotiated by all in the group. And this is the work of the hands. So I love that pattern. And I think that that's something I want to spend a lot more time deeply digging into. So I wanted to share with you this one little piece. This was from when he was taking a group of young Australian youth to visit Noel Nanup, a local elder. He says things like, it's going to rain in 12 minutes, and the kids time it on their cell phones. And they laugh in amazement when his prediction comes true. He predicts events like an annual emergence of flying ants from the ground. And then he follows seasonal signals, winding through the bush with us to stop under a tree. And then he snaps his fingers and says, now. And the ants come flocking out of the earth. So, this is the role model of what we as humans might be capable of if we can even begin to learn and to expand our brains and use our brains. So he says, the future survival of all life on this planet will be dependent on human beings being able to perceive and be custodians of the pattern of creation again, which in turn requires a completely different way of living in relation to the land. This is our challenge. And so we will choose now whether we're at the boiling point or whether we're at the tipping point, and we can come together with great minds and move on to new ideas, new ways of being. Yeah.
Long gone are the dragon ships and the birch bark canoe, and the blackbird softly sings of its longing for you. By the meadow and great mountain and the trees of the forest too, by the hazel and salmon wise, hear this gift give to you. Years past when the earth was new and our questing hearts were young, under ancient skies we roamed, hand in hand we sang this song. Storms may rage and lions roar, but my love will carry on. Though the ages of earth may come, I will love you when they are gone. Oh, the harper who has some skill plays the clarsach both soft and strong, and the bard who knows the art brings the wisdom of ages gone. Like the priest and the priestess too know the chants and spells to say. Know my place is next to you as the sun dies away. So farewell now, my love, for you, for the veil is drawing fast, and new life with the dawn comes too, and will last while it may last. Sure, the end of all days will come, and all Ufen will be made new, and the world will start again, like when I would sing with you. Storms may rage and lions roar, but my love will carry on. Though the ages of earth may come, I will love you when they are gone.
And so we turn within now to that quiet place where we connect with the blueprint that is in each one of us. That deep, deep, quiet center. And in that place today, if you would imagine a fire, easy to do in these hot times, fire crackling, flames dancing. And notice that that flame is now in your brain, it's in your mind. But notice that your mind is bigger than that. So take that flame now into your heart center. Let it burn away any tired, old feelings of loss and sorrow and sadness. And then expand your mind throughout your body, because your mind is limitless. And allow it to move down now into your belly. Let your belly be full and expanded, filled with fire, your power. And your power then travels with your mind down through your legs, down through the floors of this building that disappear as you go down into Mother Earth. Notice that your mind is traveling down into Mother's heart and soul, where we feel our oneness with her. And then allow it to travel back up through your body, because you are the meeting point between earth and sky. And so this mind travels with these flames right out through the top of your head into the sky, the stars, perhaps meeting with the fire of the sun, expanding through the universe. Just notice how you are able to bring your awareness wherever you can think. Earth and sky. To connect with all beings. And And so, like our indigenous ancestors, we can feel these song lines connecting us to one another in this room, beyond this room, anywhere you want to travel with a song line, you can touch other hearts, other places, other animals, birds, soil, plants, wherever you feel led. Allow the song lines to radiate forth from you, carrying pure love wherever they go. Perhaps even to people around the planet who are experiencing tremendous loss from fire and flood and wind and war. So let's send out a song line. So I'll begin by sending a sound. You can imagine that lighting up these song lines that you see, connecting you to others. And now let's join our voices together as we amplify the amount of unconditional love energy that's traveling these song lines out in all directions to wherever they need to go. Join me as you feel comfortable. Now bringing yourself fully present to this time and place, to all who are gathered here in this room. Gently open your eyes as you feel ready and connect with the light of the world. So I leave you with this choice. Are we going to burn up in the fire, or are we going to fire up?
Sunrise rises crisp upon the mountain. Morning bird song floating on the air. Hear the ice melt trickling to the valley. Breathing all this beauty bright and fair. Babies coo and toddle as they're growing. Standing on my own, I'm half as wise. For in their perfect love there is no knowing all the fear and hatred in each other's eyes. Like a baby born to wander, find me peaceful. Like a pilgrim on my road to find my way. Look inside before you walk out in your seeking, and believe that love can bring a brighter day. Sometimes there is anger in our party. Sometimes we must lay a body down. But do not lose yourself in grief and mourning, for the wheel of life will always circle round. Often I have fallen to my blindness, often spoke before a thought was made. Though these do not define my perfect being, still they live as stones within foundations laid. Like a surgeon with a scalpel, give me caution. Like the healer with the dying, give me grace. Weigh the actions with the cause before you take them. Do no harm if you can find another way. The setting sun can paint the sky a rainbow. The storms of life will bring a different hue. And when we choose to heal and grow together, well, there's nothing in this world we cannot do. Just take my hand, we'll stand and face the darkness. Lean in close, I'll whisper you my name. Let's step out in the future we are dreaming, knowing life will never be the same. Like the moment when you gain a perfect knowing, like a leap of faith that turns you upside down. Turn away from any voice that steals your passion, and embrace the soul expression you have found. Like a friend with all your secrets drives you forward, like the family that you love will call you home. Take your journey to the sacredness inside of you, and you'll learn that you can never be alone.
As our ushers come forward for a time of thanks, I invite you to join me as we hold our gifts to this community in our hands and love in our hearts. Let's affirm together. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. As the love offering is collected, let's join Holly in singing, "We Are the Ones That We've Been Waiting For."
We are the ones that we've been waiting for. We are the ones who will make a difference. We are the ones who will change the world. We are the ones, we are, we are. We are the ones, we are, we are. We are the ones that we've been waiting for. We are the ones who make a difference. We are the ones who will change the world. We are the ones, we are, we are. 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 We are the ones that we've been waiting for. We are the ones who will make a difference. We are the ones who will change the world. We are the ones, we are, we are. We are the ones, we are, we are. We are the ones, we are, we are. We
As our ushers come forward, here's our prayer of thanks. Please listen. We are grateful and we bless the flow of the good that supports our Unity community. We bless the givers who give their time, talent, and treasure. We stand in the knowing that the flow of good goes forth only to return again and again, and so it is. Amen. And now for opportunities. A special welcome to our guests today. Thank you for joining us. If you would like more information, please pick up a welcome packet in the foyer. Also in the foyer, if you're interested, is the booklets for the Daily Word for September and October. Lunch Bunch is meeting at La Estrella, 2323 Ridge Court. All are welcome. The Love Karen store is open today from noon to 3 p.m. All donations benefit the Unity of Lawrence in Karen's name. We won't be closing the store until after the potluck on September 10th. There are still lots of books and clothes, so come on down and check it out. The 30th Annual Unity World Day of Prayers opening ceremony is online Wednesday, September 13th at 7 p.m. All the 2023 World Day of Prayer events are available on Zoom. Registration is free at unity.org. Remember, open meditation meets on Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m. And now please welcome Sharon Dwyer for a special announcement.
Yes, I'm Sharon Dwyer, licensed Unity teacher, and I will begin facilitating a book study this Thursday evening at 6 p.m. On this book, Discover the Power Within You, written by one of Unity's most respected writers, Eric Butterworth. And Eric Butterworth set about to answer the question, what did Jesus really teach? And contrary to some popular opinion, Unity does not throw out baby Jesus with the bathwater. And Jesus can be seen as an indigenous role model. And his stories and words can be seen as yarning. And there is much truth to yarning. It is certainly not just stories. So I hope that you can join me this Thursday at 6, and the book is available on Amazon. There are many used books available, not so many new ones. It was written in the 1960s, but it's a classic. Thank you.
Thank you. And now let's have Cheryl come to the stage.
Next Sunday, we're going to be gifted by a performance from Jeremy Facknitz, who came a while back, and we gave him a standing ovation. It was so wonderful. And so I invited him to come and do a concert, a yard concert at my place in Overbrook, which is from Walmart. It's about 30 minutes. And so because it's just in a small town, there's not as much parking as you might have in a big city. So we're going to have people meet here at 3 o'clock next Sunday if you would like to carpool to Overbrook to the concert. And it's going to be wonderful. His music is called folk rock, and you'll get to see him. And I'll tell just a little bit more about it next time. But I think there's some description about this in the September bulletin.
Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you. Yes. The cost for that is $20, and Jeremy will also be our guest musician that morning. Enjoy an afternoon of great music. Joy Zimmerman will be having an album lunch concert here on Friday, September 15th. Doors open at 6:30 p.m., concert at 7, cost is $15 or love offering. All are welcome. Join Susan Giesman for her workshop, Making the Connection, Learning to Attune to Higher Consciousness, on Sunday, September 24th from 1 to 3 p.m. Cost is $35. Check out our website, unityoflawrence.org, for more information and to register. It's going to be an awesome workshop. We invite you to join us next Sunday when Reverend Mary Wood brings us the message, Patience and the Altitude of Our Attitude, special music with Jeremy Facknitz. And also, let's remember our great, oh, now I forgot his name already, who just passed away. Jimmy Buffett. Let's a round of applause for Jimmy Buffett. I love his music, and I can't believe that every time I try to think of his name, it slips my mind. Jimmy Buffett, Jimmy Buffett. And now let's all stand and sing the peace song. How about that?
Let there be peace on earth and let it be